Hello everyone, Jammy Jet here. Today, basically, I'm doing a video talking about my channel in general. It's kind of like a mini update, and I just wanted to say, what do you guys want to see on my channel? Because so far, Let's Plays like my Happy Wheels one, my Pokemon Black and White 2 one, they're not very popular at the moment. Like, out of all my videos I upload, my Let's Plays get the least views. So it gives me, either I'm Let's Playing games that are too old, and people aren't interested in watching, or they're just not. The commentary isn't as interesting. Perhaps it's more fun when I do commentary on different types of games. I really want you guys to let me know what I see. So what I've got up is my Steam library. I'm not in the mood for doing a full-on, kind of like a Let's Play. I don't want to do a Let's Play as obviously I've got other things to do. It's quite concentrated to do a Let's Play because it involves a lot of your time, and you've got to say, okay, I've got to do this, I've got to do that, and it puts a lot of pressure on as a YouTuber to sort of set out and to record a video of this, to record a video of that. And I want to have more of a laid-back schedule on my channel. I don't want it to be, oh shit, it's been 2 days, I need to upload something to YouTube, and I'll just end up rushing a video most of that time. And I'll just record a video, I won't edit it, and it will just come out, and it won't look as good as some of my videos that I have prepared, like my gaming montages, which generally I put hours into editing and putting that together, so they generally come out a lot better than most of my Let's Plays. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a series on my channel where I play a random game, and it's not going to be like a Let's Play where the problem with games on YouTube is you can't just do one video on one game. You have to do a Let's Play, but I don't want to do a Let's Play, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a series where I play a random game, and then the next episode people will vote and say, oh, this is the game I'd like to see you play in the next one. But it's got to be from my Steam library right here. It's got to be a game that I have on my computer. Games like Minecraft and that can still count, but they're on my Steam library anyway, so I'll go ahead and go through the list. So briefly talk about the game, and I could do like a 15-minute video on that game, just showing you, it can almost be like a first impression video. It could be what I think of the game, it could be a mini review, it could just be me babbling on about it. I did a video back on Super Meat Boy, which I really enjoyed making, so let's get into it. First of all, we have Ace of Spades, which is that was a weird sound, wasn't it? It was like a bark and a cough at the same time. Ace of Spades, which is a really fun game, actually. A lot of people knocked it and said, oh, it's not great. I'll be honest with you, there are a lot of glitches in this game. Sometimes you'll spawn and you'll be stuck in the floor and you have to sort of jump around a few times before you can move. Sometimes you'll be running along and you get stuck inside a block. But I mean, it's only been out for a short amount of time. It's been out for probably less than a year, to be honest. And it's got 4 classes. It's very much like a TF2 meets Minecraft kind of game, but they all have their own unique abilities. And you can dig, you can build, you can make your own bases, and for the enemies to infiltrate, you can build cover, so then you can hide behind, and you have little holes in the wall and stuff, so you can shoot through. It's a really interesting game. There's lots of new maps coming to it, so I'd really recommend you pick that up. It's probably $3.50 in the summer sale, so you might as well. Okay. Amnesia: The Dark Descent. I did a Let's Play on this before my channel was hacked. It's a really fun game. I wouldn't mind doing an odd video on it, but perhaps a custom story. But it is fun. It's scary as hell, but I like games that sort of, they make you jump, they make you quiver. So yep, I'm not even going to talk about Angry Birds Space because it's not brilliant and I haven't really played it much. It's just an app ported onto Steam, pretty much. Assassin's Creed 2, it's alright. I'm not really a massive Assassin's Creed fan, to be honest with you. I only bought it because it was like £2.50 in a sale, so it's ridiculously cheap. So I just thought I might as well pick it up because I haven't even played it before. Because I played some of the first Assassin's Creed game and I really didn't like that because it was very repetitive. It was very sort of oh, do this task. Okay, you completed this task. Go to the next town and do exactly the same thing in this town. It's like, they made the same game over and over again. It's very repetitive. But anyway, it's not a bad game. It's the second one is, at least. It's not bad. Batman Arkham City Game of the Year Edition. I bought this for £5. It was 75% off from 20, so it's not bad. I put about 8 hours into it. I'm not that far, but I played it for a while. It's interesting. I wouldn't mind doing a video on it, like I said. The Binding of Isaac. Now, this is a really, really quite weird game, but it's made by Team Meat, who made Super Meat Boy. and Super Meat Boy is a really fun game, and so is this. I've put about a good 12, 13 hours into this game, so it's one of those games that you could probably just come back to at any point and just play it, just because, why not? But yeah, like I say, I've already done a Let's Play on this. I did about 3 or 4 parts, but I could do an odd video just randomly babbling on about it. Okay, first of all, this is Bioshock. I got it for 75% off in the Steam Summer Sale. It was $3.50, down from 15? No, down from 14 even. I bought it because I got Bioshock Infinite for free with my graphics card, basically. And I like Bioshock Infinite, but there were so many problems with it. Apart from the fact that the game costs £35. It's a full-on console game, but the story takes 8 hours to get through. It's absolutely nothing, and there's absolutely no replayability to this game. It's one of those games that it's like, oh my god, this is awesome when you first play through it, and then you've completed it and you're like, oh, that's it. Oh. And there's no DLC for this game as of yet. Like, there's a season pass available. The game's been out since the end of March, but there's absolutely no DLC on the scene whatsoever. They're claiming that it's coming out at the end of this month, or the early August, but I wouldn't get your hopes up. There's absolutely nothing to look forward to as of DLC at the moment. The only DLC they've released is a pack which includes a little bit of money and a gun. And it's like £4, is it? £3 or something stupid like that. Why would you pay £3 for some extra money and a gun? That's not what the DLC fans want. It's like they just threw that DLC out there just because they're like, yeah, we haven't forgotten about this game. There's a gun. Play the game. No. Just no. Okay, let's move on from that. That was a weird rant. Bit Runner 2. That's a fun game. It's got really good ratings around the board from people like IGN and GameStop. So it's stop. I don't know. Right. Yeah, it's a really fun game. It's best played with a gamepad. But you can actually get this game across the board. It's even available in the eShop on the Wii U. So can't complain. It's a really fun game. It's got a nice sense of humour. I really do like playing it. I haven't put too many hours into it, probably 5 or 6. But it's very much, if you like games like Super Meat Boy, the original Bit Trip Runner, you'll probably be quite at home with this game. I think it's about £11, £12, but there was a new DLC that's only literally £1 in the sale at the moment, so that's worth picking up, and it adds characters like Dr. Fetus from Super Meat Boy, the guy from Cave Story, a bunch of really well-known indie game characters, basically, are just in this game as characters now, so it's awesome. Okay, let's go on to Borderlands 2, one of my favourite games of all time. This is honestly an amazing game. It's one of those games that you could just put 100 hours into and go, I've spent 100 hours on this game? Where did that go? I've already spent over 100 hours on this game. I only got it literally end of March this year. That's how insanely addicting this game is. And about 80 of that 100 hours has probably been in the last 4 weeks or 5 weeks since I broke up from basically my exams. So I've really put so much time into this game. I've played through about 4 or 5 times now, and I've got 4 or 5 characters in the level 30, so it's awesome. I'm going to move on to Braid now, because Braid was the second game I got on my Steam account. The first game was Super Meat Boy back in April 2012. And then I got Braid, because I didn't actually know what Steam was at the time I got Super Meat Boy. I thought it was just something that you had to download in order to run the game. I didn't entirely know what it was, but then when I was playing Super Meat Boy one time, I sort of looked at Steam, and I didn't realise how cheap you could actually get games and stuff. You could buy them online. It wasn't just something you registered disc games with. So then I started looking through the store, and I found games like Braid and Limbo, which are really awesome puzzle platformers. They're very, very atmospheric. Braid isn't really, I don't know, it didn't click with me as much as Super Meat Boy and Limbo did. With games like Super Meat Boy, I've clocked a good 40 hours on. Limbo, probably 10. So Braid's 2. So it's not quite as addicting in my opinion. That might just be me, might just be how I play games, but I don't find it quite as thrilling and, exciting to play. That's just my opinion. I've completely forgotten what the topic of this video was, and it's about whether you guys want to. So you guys can feel free to skip through some of this boring talk if you're really not interested in hearing my opinions on these games. But yeah, it's quite a long list, so it might take a while to get through. But here we go. The next one is Burnout Paradise Ultimate Box. I'm not entirely sure why they call it the Ultimate Box. That implies it contains more than the game. It contains 2 extra things. which are basically part of the game anyway. But the rest of the DLC isn't available on PC for no apparent reason. I own this game on PS3. I got it back on PlayStation Network a good 2 years ago when PlayStation Store got hacked or something. They were giving away free games. I was like, yes, this game's awesome. I played it for about a month, and then they took it away because the deal ended. And then I rebought it like about 6 months ago on PlayStation for about £15-16. And this one was only £5, half price on Steam, but it doesn't include all the DLC, which sucked. You can't get the DLC, like the Big Surf Island, all the extra cars, like the toy cars. They're not available on this version. They call it the Ultimate Box, like it includes everything, but it doesn't. But it's still a nice port. I would really appreciate if they added the achievements to the game, because PlayStation and Xbox ones have achievements, so why can't the PC one have Steam achievements? It's a mystery. The Cave, not a great game, to be honest. It's not my kind of game. It's a very sort of... I'm quite, as some of you might know, quite an impatient type of person. This game really doesn't click with me because it's all about swapping characters. You can have up to 4 characters at once, I believe, and you swap between them in order to sort of complete tasks. Like one character can pull a lever, while the other one goes on to the other side to pick up some treasure or something, and then another character will do something else which clears the way for the other character to get through. And it's nice, but it's got a nice art style. I quite like it in that, and it's got a nice sort of comic humour. It's not my type of game personally. I paid £12 for this game. Kind of regret getting it now because I've really only put a few hours into it. It's not that fun. I haven't played it for a good few months. Dead Island Riptide, got it for half price, $17.50 probably over a month ago now. On the Steam sale. It wasn't a Steam sale, it was a weekend sale actually. I picked it up because I was actually quite excited for this game when it got announced. I didn't play the original Dead Island, but I heard that the original Dead Island was actually quite good. This game wasn't that good. I kind of regret getting it now. It takes about 12 hours to get through the story. There's absolutely no replayability on this game. The chapters are very much defend yourself from the zombies. The locations look exactly the same. It's like going from abandoned town to abandoned town. It would have been nice if they mixed up the locations a bit, like one level could be around a volcano, the next level could be in a tropical jungle, the next one could be in an icy area or a snowy area. It would have been nice to see that. Perhaps different seasons in the game. I don't know. It would have been nicer to see that sort of thing in the game. It's not a terrible game, I'll be honest, but the voice acting and the lip syncing are pretty awful. Then again, you don't necessarily need that to have a good game. Obviously, the game's all about gameplay. This game, of course, is. But it doesn't really put you in the situation of the character. Some of the things that the character I chose say, it's the Australian ginger guy, I can't even remember what he's called. Like when he's searching through suitcases, he goes, "Daddy needs some new shit." What's that supposed to mean? I don't know, it's not even funny, it just makes me hate choosing you. Okay, Dirt Showdown, I got this for free with my graphics card as well. Awesome game, costs about £20 full price on Steam, but it's not like one of those racing games where it's just like, race. Oh, you complete the last race, and you race again. Race. It's not all about that. There's different types of races and there's different types of competitions. Most of the competitions involve smashing all the other cars up and getting the most points, which is amazing. It's like Super Smash Bros. With cars. It's awesome. It's really fun. I really like that game, actually. I've put a good 5 or 6 hours into it so far. I don't really play it that much anymore. It's probably one of those games that I'll come back to over the summer. Don't Starve. Now, this is a very good game. I put a good 7 or 8 hours probably into it. Obviously, it's impossible for me to say. I'm just estimating. It's like a 2D bird's eye view sort of survival game where the objective is to not starve, basically. You've got to keep getting food, you've got to kill monsters, you've got to explore, you've got to make your own fire, you can build walls and stuff around your camp, you can, cook food, eat it so that you don't starve. It's an interesting concept. It plays a lot like a 2D Minecraft. How when you first start your Minecraft survival, it's all about killing pigs, making bread, planting things, and that's basically what that game's about. Let's move on to Dota 2, or Dota 2, depending on how you pronounce it. It's not a great game, I'm going to be honest. I played about 10 minutes on it, and I just got bored. It's one of those games where loads of people like it, but I don't entirely understand why they like it. It's an MMO, which I'm not fond of. I'm not fond of MMOs either. I'd go to the point where in comparison of MMOs, I hate the game RuneScape, for example. It's an online MMO, it's free to play, but I would even go as far as saying that I'd rather play RuneScape than Dota 2. At least RuneScape has decent controls, like Dota 2 has awful controls. It's like, instead of moving around your character with the arrow keys, which would actually make sense, or WASD, it's, you need to click where you have to go. Okay, that would be okay if you could then pan across, or the screen panned across with you, but no. You've got to then use the arrow keys to pan the screen across. But does the screen slide across smoothly? No, it randomly chunks across to the next scene. To the next section of the map. Why can't it just slide across nicely or pan with you? It just makes it really blocky and it really just sort of discourages you from the actual experience itself. It's really, it doesn't play well. It's not one of those games where you're like, oh yes, I need to come back and level up my character. It's not as encouraging you to play more. I don't know. Anyway, we want to Evoland. Evoland's a really good game actually. It's £7. It's very much a. It's not, oh, look at us, we're a new game, we've got loads of things going on, have a look at us, yay. It's very much like paying tribute to older games, like the original Legend of Zelda games, Final Fantasy games, Diablo games. It's just hinting at these other RPG-type series games, and saying that, oh, look, these games were good, do you remember them? And kind of, I don't know, it evolves as you go on, like, you start black and white, and with the sort of really basic texture, and then you upgrade your texture and you upgrade the color scheme. It's a really interesting concept. I don't think any game has ever done anything like this before. So it's like £7 full price. I got it for like $3.50 or something like that. But yeah, I'd recommend picking it up. It's a good 6 or 7 hour, maybe 5 or 6 hour experience. Once you completed it, there isn't much replay value, to be honest. But there's about 20 something Steam achievements, so it's good in that concept. Far Cry 3. I don't own this on Steam because I got it free with my graphics card. It was a Uplay thing. Oh god, I hate Uplay so much. It's like Steam were like, oh, do you want to buy this game on Steam? Oh no, have it on Uplay. It's just, there's no Steam achievements with games that are done through Uplay. It's like Steam were just like, okay, we stole this game from Uplay. When do you have it? Yeah, take it. Yeah. I don't know. Like, I got Assassin's Creed 2, and then it was like, oh, installing Uplay, and it took like 2 hours to install the game along with Uplay, and it just, by the end of it, I was just like, come on. I just wanted to get through it. But Far Cry 3 is a good game. I wouldn't mind doing an odd video on it. It's interesting. It's got an open world. It's very much like a modern Skyrim. It's not one of those games where you're like, I must come back and complete the next level. It's not like that. Most games that I play aren't really that, like, it's not like addicting to a certain stage. There's only really a few games that I've physically been addicted to. Borderlands 2 is probably the main one, because I just really like coming back and leveling up my character. So, Fez, that's a really interesting platform. It wasn't originally coming to PC, but it did get ported from Xbox Live, along with Super Meat Boy and Braid and Limbo, which are games like that did. It's an interesting concept. It's using the left and right triggers on the gamepad to spin the roll around, but you're always in a 2D perspective. You never at one point become like in a 3D world. Everything's 2D, but you use the left and right triggers to spin things around, so you can then see ledges on the backside of a pillar perhaps, and you can then climb up. It's a nice concept. It works well for the most part. I'm only about a third of the way through the game, and I've put a good 5 or 6 hours in, so hopefully more to come. Garry's Mod. Personally, I'm not into these very sandboxy type. It feels quite old. It very much plays like Half-Life 2, which I bought. I bought the Half-Life pack, as you can see. I've got all of the Half-Life games there. It was 75% off the day before the summer sale, so I picked it up. I've only really played through Half-Life 2 and Half-Life 2 Episode 1. Played through most of Half-Life 2 and a little bit of Half-Life 2 Episode 1. The rest I haven't even touched yet, so I'll be interested to see what they play like. Garry's Mod, I don't know, it looks and feels like a Half-Life game. It just feels like they were like, oh, this is build your own Half-Life level, kind of. Like, it's even got crowbars and stuff. It's just, I don't know, I'm not really fond of Garry's Mod too much. I know a lot of people are, because there's lots of indie sort of type horror stories and stuff like that, but maybe not for me. Now, here are all the Half-Life games. You could feel free to watch me play one of them. But you're cool. Left 4 Dead 2, it's an awesome online game. I did a couple of videos with a guy called JD Guy 1000 a while back, but they weren't very popular on my channel. Then we got Limbo. I've already talked about that. It's a nice puzzle platformer. I did do a Let's Play on it a while back on my channel, but I didn't get very far. I got about halfway through it, maybe. Loadout. That's a fun game. It's in beta at the moment, or alpha, or beta. Alpha, beta. I don't even know what the difference is, to be honest. Well, it's in early stages at the moment. It's early access on Steam. It's £7, but it is going to become a free-to-play game when they finish making it. It's got an awesome weapon customization. It plays very nicely. You can customize what your character looks like, so it's fun in that respect. Okay, a game I picked up the other day because I've been looking forward to all summer is Metro Last Light. You know, have you seen this, guys? It's my freaking wallpaper. Look, it's awesome. Metro Last Light is an awesome game. I put a good 6 hours into it so far. Loving the story. It is very much a linear game, and a lot of people complained because it's linear, and it would have been nice to be able to explore some of the tunnels. But I have no problem with a game being linear. I'd much prefer a game to be linear than a game to just drop you in the middle of the metro system and just say, "Find your way out, bitch." You know, it's helping you through the game. You know, if there was multiple tunnels to go down, you know, and only one of them was the right way to go in order to progress in the story, you know, it would take ages to finish the game, and it wouldn't be because the game was long, it would just be because it was a maze. And I mean, perhaps they'll add some new areas in the future with DLC, although I doubt it. The DLC Season Pass mostly contains the Ranger mode, which is like this hardcore sort of, where there's fewer filters for your gas mask, fewer health packs, fewer ammo packs, things like that. I don't know, it's an interesting concept. Minecraft, that's not a Steam game, but it's on my Steam game library anyway. It's a nice game. I've done Let's Plays in the past, I've done videos in the past. Maybe I could do a random video on a server, perhaps like a Temple Run thing or something like that. That would be interesting. Nexus, I don't even know what it's pronounced. I got that free with my graphics card as well. It's not a brilliant game. I don't like games where it's literally like, yeah, we could have made a story to our game, but yeah, it's just a deathmatch. Yeah. Enjoy. I like games where it's like, oh yeah, you played through our story, don't worry, there's more to do. Like, Tomb Raider does this well. Tomb Raider has a fantastic, I've forgotten the word. What's the word that means like you're in the world? It's very atmospheric. Not quite the word I meant, but it's very indulging. Maybe. It's kind of indulging. It's like, it puts you in the perspective quite well. It's a third-person game, which is good, because I prefer third-person games to first-person games. It's very much easier to see you compared to your surroundings. So what's weird about Tomb Raider, the new one, which I've gone completely off track, so, is Tomb Raider, the original Tomb Raider, was made to be, Lara Croft was made to be a female version of Indiana Jones. And then Nathan Drake from Uncharted was made to be a male version of Tomb Raider. So in that theory, is Nathan Drake a young Indiana Jones? You know, I don't quite understand. So it's like, Nathan Drake is basically Indiana Jones. And this game plays very much like Uncharted. It's very much sort of jump, climb, shoot, jump, climb, shoot. You know, it's a very good game in that perspective. It has a good story. There's Team Deathmatch, which is a good extra to play, DLC for that. So, yep, it's interesting. Nexus really isn't brilliant. It's about £7 or £8. It's really not worth picking up. It's a futuristic shooter deathmatch game. Right, here we have Portal. Portal is definitely a game that is good. It's good to get 75% off both Portal 1 and Portal 2. Portal 1 isn't as good as Portal 2. Portal 2 has Stephen Merchant, I think his name is, who's a British comedian. He's hilarious. He's an actor as well. He does the voice of Wheatley. He is hilarious in this game. Yeah. So basically, Portal 2 has a much better story. It's got a longer game. Problem with Portal 1, the problem that Portal, the original game, had, it's just like going through test chambers and everything looks the same. It's just like, oh, we just went through a white chest chamber, do you want to go through another one? And there's no sense of achievement, there's no sense, yes, I've got through this part of the game, now to move on to the next part, which is what games like Portal 2 actually do well. The original Portal's like, you had fun in that room, have fun in the next one, woo! And the only good part about the original Portal is when you finally get, at the end of the game, when you get to escape the test chambers, you get to do what you want. You get to escape without GLaDOS basically practically handing everything to you on a plate. Like, there's a scene where you're running through the sewers and you've got to shoot portals on the other side to get across, and you know, it's really clever how you've got to escape. And you don't have any, there's no hand holding at the end of that game, and that's what I liked about it. Okay, let's move on. Puddle, it's a liquid physics game, as the slogan suggests. It's very much click right on the mouse to tilt right, click left on the mouse to click left, and you just sort of go to get the liquid to the end. It's a very nice gimmicky kind of thing. It's quite fun to play. It's about $3.50 half price if you can afford that, but it's nice. It's worth picking up in the sale. Rayman Origins, or Oranges as I called it in one of my older videos. It's a really good game. I hope that Rayman Legends gets ported to PC at a later date. This one didn't come out on PC until a few months after the original release, as far as I'm aware. It's a fun game. I played quite a lot. I got to about World 6 on it, on the home computer in my house, and then I got my gaming computer, so I was like, okay. I had to re-download about like 35, 40 Steam games onto my new computer, which took a good 5-6 hours, probably more. So by the time I'd done that, I was like, okay, I need to make sure all these games are working, all my save data's there, and all my save data on all of my games was there, except Rayman Origins. All the save files are now blank on that, and I haven't played it since. That's put me off. Scribblenauts Unlimited. It's a fun game. It's very much, there's a lot to do on this game now, because it was 75% off on the Steam sale on the first day, $3.74. But there's a lot of Steam Workshop stuff on this game where you can just download items. Like, there's even individual Pokemon and guns and specific guns and stuff that you can put into the game, which is really fun. Stanley Arrival, it's okay. It's not a great story. It's nice gameplay, but it's not got a great story. So I kind of, it's understandable for like £3 whatever I paid for it. So it would be nice to see this greenlit on Steam though, because then it could have achievements and stuff. It does already have a few achievements in the game. Like, there's one that you get for going down the slide. That's the only one I'm aware of. So perhaps it will be interesting to see if it gets a Steam. It would be nice to see a Slender on Steam, a Slender game on Steam, with achievements like get all 8 pages and complete the game, and that would be really interesting. I'd like to see that. Sonic Sega All-Stars Racing Transformed. This game is pretty good, actually. If you like games like Mario Kart and the original Sonic All-Stars Racing game, you'll like this. It's a bit gimmicky at first, like it seems a bit gimmicky with the flying and the, you know, the boats and the planes, but there's TF2 characters in this, and there's also a character from a game called Football Manager 2013, I believe. So there's somewhat extra for PC gamers. I got it for about £5, 75% off of £20 or something like that, so it's pretty cheap. Yeah, you might want to pick this up if you like that sort of cartoony driving game. Super Meat Boy, my first Steam game. Now this game is really quite fun. It's addicting. There's lots of new characters to unlock, including Steve from Minecraft, who can place blocks and basically break the game, which is really fun to play as, although I haven't unlocked him yet. It's a good game. You should pick it up. 75% off. It's about £3, so not bad. Surgeon Simulator 2013, there was a TF2 update recently I did a video on. It's a really fun game. It's kind of stupid, the controls on it, but it's one of those games like that you'd expect, like if you've got a group of friends around, you're like, let's crack out the Surgeon Simulator, and you all just fail at it horribly. It would just be hilarious to watch. It's one of those games that's best played with groups of people, just all laughing at each other failing. I can imagine that's when it would succeed, but yep, it is a great game. I recommend you pick it up, because why not? Team Fortress 2, it's a free-to-play game. I don't understand quite why games like Dota 2 have like over 200,000 people every day play Dota 2, but only 50,000 people every day play Team Fortress 2. Who's playing Dota 2 and saying, I'm coming back to this game because it's amazing? I hate to break it to you, but it's not. It's not a great game. The original Team Fortress there, I got that with the Half-Life pack. I haven't actually played it, but it looks alright. It did come out in the 90s, so it's probably going to be quite dated. I did already talk about Tomb Raider, so not going to really speak about that anymore, but Tomb Raider is an interesting game. It's got a good story. I recommend you pick it up. 75% off. It was the other day. I don't know if it's that anymore. The Walking Dead was 75% off for just about £5 the other day, but now it's gone back up, I think, to 50% off. There's DLC for it, which I did a video on. yeah, it's really interesting. I like how it plays. So if you want to see more of that, let me know. I could do the rest of the Let's Play if you guys want to see it, or just an odd video on the story. Warframe, haven't played yet. It's a free-to-play game. I'll check it out soon, but thank you very much for watching. If you have any suggestions on any of these games I could do an odd video on, you just vote down of 3 or 4 that you think I should do odd videos on. The ones that get the most votes will be the ones that I decide to do. So thanks very much for watching. I guess I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out.